My name's Chris and I'm an addict. It's good to be here. You know, it's always good to be in a meeting. You know, yeah, it's good to be. It's good to be alive. You know, and you know, as a kid, I had, you know, I was a normal kid. I know I was a normal kid. I had dreams and aspirations. I wanted to be something. I wanted to do something. I wanted to be a policeman. I wanted to be action man. I wanted to be whatever I could be. You know, I had ideas and dreams, and I don't know. I wanted to be something, that's for sure. You know, my ideas when I was a kid didn't have nothing to do with a room full of people. Half of them I don't know on a Friday night, that's for sure, as well. You know, this weren't a plan. This weren't my plan anyway. But you know, I'm an hopeless addict. I'm an hopeless addict. On my own, I'm completely fucked. I've got no choice. I use against my will, and I think it's my idea. You know, that's what I do. And you know, and I'm in a room for a lot of people that I know. A lot of people that I don't. I know some new people in the room as well. You know, and you know, by the time I was 11 years old, I was having my first midlife crisis. I was in fucking bits. I was all over the place. I was asking people for help in all kinds of places, and really getting a lot of mixed messages. You know, my behaviour was completely off the wall. I found myself in a children's home when I was about 12, and you know, it's got nothing, well, whatever. And I remember being in this children's home and thinking that I've been abandoned, and I thought my family didn't want me, and I've been thrown away. You know, these are the sort of thoughts that come to me left to my own devices. And you know, my family never threw me away, and they never left me either. I've got a disease that separates me from people who love me. I've got a disease that wants to destroy everything around me, and I know it today. You know, I remember, you know, what can I say? You know, these experiences, me being a kid, they didn't come to me until I was about 38 years old. I didn't know. You know, I didn't know who I was. I didn't really have a clue. You know, I was a chancer, and I was a ringer, and I was living on a prayer. Really. You know, first time I took drugs, you know, it took away this crippling feeling that was no good, and I won't go be, you know, I won't go be anybody, and you know, it made me feel quite confident. It took away the fear. You know, that's what drugs did for me. They become my solution in life. You know, and that's what I believed as well. You know, I've got a disease that lies to me. And they made me feel quite good. You know, I felt quite at ease when I took drugs. And when I didn't, I went back to that fearful place of feeling lonely and isolated on my own, no matter who was around me. You know, that's what happened. You know, I held off using drugs until, you know, I didn't start using until I was 12, so I've done pretty well. You know, I really left it for the whatever. You know, drugs become very, very problematic. By the time I'm 22, 21, 22, I'm in a detox, and I'm beaten, I'm broken, and you know, I was lucky to get in this detox, and I wanted to stop. I wanted to stop. I really did. Life got so bad that I'd had enough, and you know, within about 3 weeks, the medication running out, and my ego getting stronger, I couldn't stop myself from walking out the door and picking up. And I thought that was my idea as well. And when people used to talk to me about using against their will, I thought that was mad. I thought, how can you use against your will? I chose to use. You know, I lost the choice to use a long, long time ago, and I didn't really know it. I thought it was my idea, and it weren't. You know, and it didn't really matter how big the brick wall was, or how big the person was, or whatever. You know, I couldn't get scared into recovery, and that's a fucking bad place to be. You know, because people did warn me. They said, Chris, if you keep doing this sort of stuff, you'll go end up dead. You'll go end up a very, very lonely man. You know, but what it is, I'm running around South London with a disease that I don't even know that I've got. And you know what, I'm talking to people who, you know, they won't look at my childhood, and I spoke to doctors, professionals, and you know, I'd sit there in front of them completely broken, and I'd say, you know, my life's going to pot here, and they'd say, well, I think you're depressed, Chris, and I'd think, you fucking kidding? I've just told you I want to kill myself, and you're asking me if I'm depressed. But the thing is, what it is my disease? I'm driven. You know, I ain't in the driving seat. I learned that when I got here. That, you know, through my life I was driven. You know, the power of the illness is so strong that I don't know where it's going to take me. I've become powerless. You know, I understand what that means as well today. You know, to have no power in my life over choice. The choice was gone. To choose whether I stop or whether I just stay clean for the day. You know, I realise that that's a joke. You know. Cut a long story short. 36 years old. I'm incarcerated again. You know, I spent a lot of time in and out of different institutions, and I'm sort of beaten by life, physically, mentally, and spiritually. I'm a gunner, and I know it. And I know my life is. I can see myself for what I am for the first fucking time, and it's like it says it in our literature. You know, I was hopeless, and I knew it, and that's a fucking painful place to be. And I knew my life had been useless. And of course, I don't really want to discuss this stuff with my cellmate. You know, I don't want to discuss this stuff with anyone. I don't want anybody knowing that I think this about myself. And you know, there's a series of events that happen, and you know, I'll get this letter underneath the door with a big footprint on it, and it's from my mother. And I open up this letter, and of course I open it up and I see if there's a chitty there for any money, and of course there was. She never let me down. You know, it's amazing. It's an amazing fucking deal when you find out who you really are. And in this letter, my mum had written, you know, I love you, son. We all love you. But I don't like you anymore. And I thought, you know what, that makes two of us. You know, I thought that makes two of us. I don't like me anymore. I turned into something I couldn't stand. And you know, I made some decisions. A couple of days after that, the prison vicar Danny came up to me and said, congratulations, you're a dad. And the first thing that came to my mind was, he'd be better off without me. And it was so true at the time. You know, and I made some decisions then as well. You know, on the way out of this institution, I'm having a fucking great day. They're letting me go. And I've already made these decisions that I'm not going to use. And before I know it, I find myself in Battersea in this state doing what I do best, which is you. And all that stuff that my head tells me is all fucking true. You know, I beat myself into a place where I couldn't block out the truth. And that's what happened to me, you know, and I felt like an animal, and I thought I was going to die that way as well. And, you know, I was already so tired of the way I led my life, it was unbelievable. You know, and I went through another institution, I went through another detox, thank God, another institution, and while I was in there, they gave me a bit of awareness, and, you know, they taught me a bit about my feelings, and you know, and they'd done it before, and it didn't help me, you know, and I truly thought I was fucked. I come into the rooms on the back end of this institution, and after being around a little while, 8 months, I'm feeling suicidal again, and you know, I want something different. I wanted something different. And I think I got to a place in my recovery at 8 months clean where I'd actually been beaten completely. But I asked someone for help. Somebody that quite scared me. He sounded positive, he knew what he was talking about, And I walked up to him and I said, will you be my sponsor? And he said, I'll be honoured and privileged. You know, that was the deal. It was a sponsorship. And he gave me some simple things to do. He gave me some suggestions. He gave me lots of suggestions. I'm going to put it down to a certain number. He gave me some certain suggestions to do on a daily basis. I walked away from this man with a solution in my life for the first time. And after 8 months, this man told me, he said that if I work these steps and practice these principles in all my affairs, I'd never have to use again. And after 8 months, nobody had told me that. You know, and that's what I'm here to tell you, really. It's that he says it in our readings, if you follow this way, you've got nothing to fear. You know, I follow this way very closely. I stay close to people. I'm accountable to one man. He gives me guidance around this stuff. And you know, my life is so different. I'm a bit tired tonight, and you know, I've worked all day. That's something new for me. I never worked in my life. I'm employable. You know, someone called me a professional today, and it shocked me. That's what happened. Someone called me a professional today. And you know, I've had to be patient in recovery. I've had to be patient. It took me a long time to get to where I am. It took me as long as it took me. But you know, my life's really good. My family are back in my life who love me and trust me. You know, I know that I've got a disease that wants to kill me. That's for sure. Left to my own devices. And I've got a disease that wants to separate me from people who want to tell me the truth. You know, I'm a grateful addict. I'm always grateful. You know, I know it pisses some people off. It does. I know it does. People tell me. I say, you're always fucking happy. Tell me how you're really feeling. I say, do you want me to make something up? Because you know what, I've escaped from life worse than death. What a result. You know, what a result. You know what, I know life can be tough. You know, some parts of my recovery have been tough. I've never been on my own. You know, I tapped into power greater than myself. And I've never not tapped out of it. I practice principles on a daily basis. You know, I've been in the toilet twice since I got here, on my knees. Because I don't trust myself. You know, I have to ask for this power to carry a simple, plain message. I've got a disease that wants to kill me. You know, I've got the obsession of the mind and it'll smash me to bits. It will drive me. That's what I'm saying. I was driven. You know, I've got this attitude of my body that will fuck me up. It will make me a walking skeleton. You know, I've got a spiritual melody that just kicks my arse left to my own devices. And that's what I'm up against today. That's why I do this stuff on a daily basis, because if I don't fill this spiritual void, I am in trouble. You know, I believe what it says in the books. You know, I read the literature very closely every day. And I've done that for 2 years. It stood me in good stead. You know, I had my son with me a couple of weeks ago. He's fucking lovely. He's lovely. I love him. I love him so much. You know, and he loves me as well, because he tells me. You know, my mother phones me up and asks me for help and asks me for guidance. You know, I was a fucking nuisance. It's unbelievable. You know, it's through tapping into the powers in Narcotics Anonymous. You know, I ain't in no debating society. I'm a fucking addict. You know, I don't need to go to any other fellowship personally. You know, I've got given this stuff freely here, and I'll give it away freely as well. You know, I love spending time. That therapeutic value of one addict to another, and it's a two-way street. You know, I don't do it because I'm a good client. I do it because I get results. You know, look at me go. Thanks for letting me share.